He's the only guy that's got a longer forehead than me.
Ah, thanks, Brock. I appreciate it. Okay, so Cody left AEW, might join WWE. That's mind-blowing. So yeah, that is a pretty uncomfortable situation. Maybe some glue? I just imagine the situation where Cody returns the sledgehammer to Triple H and gets this in return. My dude had to create a whole wrestling company to get rid of this gimmick. I don't want to be a sex toy anymore. Oh, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ever heard of this man? Yeah, he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania, possibly. What is happening in the wrestling world? Am I getting pranked? Is this a joke?
Good morning, everybody.
This one applies to you.
I'm getting hungry.
Breakfast with Brock Lesnar. Medium well, baked potato, steamed broccoli.
Why would you play games with me?
I lost my investment.
The ultimate farmer. Drew McIntyre.
I'm 100% in.
And I've lost my savings.
Farming is gambling.
Oh boy.
I can go out and spend 10 hours in my tractor.
Why would I watch the show?
Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of Wrestling, everyone. How are you guys doing today? So, I don't know what is happening, but for some reason, I do believe it. One of the most legit wrestling sources, WrestleVotes, tweeted, the last 12 hours or so in wrestling have been worthy to say the least. Between the Stone Cold return rumors, which are 100% legit, and now the Cody Rhodes bomb. Looks like we could be in for a wild ride here, folks. The return of Starbucks... the return of Stardust might be the greatest wrestling moment I never knew I needed. So let's talk about it. People, it is official. Cody Rhodes is no longer in AEW. It was officially announced. Publicly, at least. It seems like they're on good terms. And Tony Khan even thanked Cody for helping create the company. To me, Cody is probably the last person I could imagine going back to the WWE. I could imagine Ambrose. I could imagine anyone else, really. But not Cody. So it's really suspicious, and I don't know if he's going to the WWE, obviously. WrestleVotes tweeted, spoke to a source just now that fully anticipates WWE coming to an agreement with Cody Rhodes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable indeed. And I want to know what's the motive. You know, it's really weird. Why would Cody, out of all the people, join WWE if that's legit? And the only conclusion I kinda got to is that Cody probably wants to work with the WWE to create this sort of a relationship between WWE and AEW to show that people can still, from AEW, you know, work with the WWE or the other way around. And if they want to grow the company, maybe the best idea is to work with the WWE. We all heard about the Forbidden Door. And Cody going to the WWE kinda destroys the door, in my opinion. Breaks the walls down. Yeah, Jericho is another name that I fully expect to join WWE in the near future. It's really weird, man. Like, I don't know why else Cody would join the WWE. I do believe it's just to get rid of the Forbidden Door and show the world that they can still work together. Obviously, he would be under WWE's contract, but you get the idea. It's almost like Shane McMahon joining AEW. Whether it's competition or not, at the end of the day, they're working in the same business. And I want the business to succeed. I think it would be a great idea. Obviously, WWE wouldn't gain as much as AEW. In terms of viewership, maybe. But at the end of the day, if we would get AEW versus WWE matches, it's entertaining, and that would be pretty valuable to the WWE as well. I've also heard Vince McMahon really wants to push Cody. Whatever that means, I don't know. Obviously, that means blue Stardust. And obviously, the best way to return Cody to the WWE is Triple H, Cody, WrestleMania. That's all I want. I've seen people talking about a mixed tag team match. Come on. Come on. A mixed tag team match? It just makes things so unimportant, in my opinion. So yeah, Cody is buying glue, might join WWE. Anything can happen in the wrestling world. Speaking of anything happening, Stone Cold Steve Austin is rumored for a match at WrestleMania. Sean Rossap of Fightful reports that WWE wants Stone Cold Steve Austin in a match at WrestleMania 38 in April. Brian Alvarez confirmed that the discussed match was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It's Steiner versus Steiner, guys! Oh, I want to see Spear versus Spear, Steiner versus Steiner, RKO versus Carter. Oh, 9 years old. No, but seriously, that sounds like a pretty decent match. Not the ideal match I would give to Stone Cold Steve Austin if he came out of retirement after, like, I don't know, 15 years probably. But it's definitely, good for Kevin Owens. He deserves it, obviously. It's weird, and this one I don't necessarily... I believe that it's legit. I believe that WWE do want Stone Cold Steve Austin in a match, but I don't believe it's going to happen. I just don't see that happening, honestly. I think we're gonna get some sort of a segment, or maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin in a tag team match where he only has to do a couple of moves. I just don't see that happening. And it leads us to a question. Should Stone Cold Steve Austin return and wrestle? I've seen many people saying, nah, he's a part-timer. That's the biggest argument. Part-timer. No, it's risky. What I'm basically trying to say is everyone acts like a mama. Yeah, that's how wrestling fans act. What's important is that if the doctors feel like Stone Cold Steve Austin can wrestle and he wants to wrestle, he can make a lot of money by wrestling at WrestleMania and fans would get entertained. If it's safe for Stone Cold Steve Austin to wrestle, he should wrestle if he wants to. That's all that matters. Don't act like a mama. People bitched about Edge returning to the WWE, and it's great. He's healthy, he's been cleared, he's better than ever before, he elevated a lot of superstars. Obviously it would be a different scenario with Stone Cold Steve Austin, he would probably wrestle one or a couple of matches, but you get the idea. I mean, Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement was pretty sad, I get how you feel, I feel the same way, but at the end of the day, man made a lot of money, and that money is not taken from us. We saw Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. Whatever it wasn't the best match. It wasn't the best look. But if you're a Shawn Michaels fan, you just saw the man making shitloads of money by being in this shitty, easy match. And I would be happy for Shawn. I would be happy for Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not that big of a deal, ladies and gentlemen. People take wrestling way too seriously. And I used to be the same way, obviously. But what you need to realize, 90% of the things we complain about aren't that deep, Dave Meltzer reports that WWE have an Austin-level surprise for WrestleMania, and he speculated it could be Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, or Ric Flair. Okay, let me stop you right here. Hulk Hogan being at WrestleMania is not on the same level as Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ric Flair? Nah. The Undertaker? Not really. Obviously it's big, but I don't expect these guys to wrestle. If we're gonna see these guys showing up, drinking a couple of beers with Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's not gonna be on the same level as Stone Cold Steve Austin freaking wrestling after 50 years. My prediction would be The Rock maybe, not in a match, but congratulating Stone Cold Steve Austin maybe, interfering, helping him. Maybe Seth Rollins interferes, helps Kevin Owens, but then we see The Rock. I don't know. It can go either way. I don't know what is happening in the wrestling world. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Love you.